I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I almost did not garden this year. Like genuinely, I almost walked away from it. The last 2 seasons just beat me down in a way that I really wasn't expecting. If you've ever had one of those years where everything goes wrong, then you know exactly what I mean. But here we are, and I'm back. Today, I'm gonna tell you why. All right, so let's start with the biggest issue here, the deer. I don't know what happened over the last 2 years, but it felt like every deer in Texas got the memo that my garden was an all-you-can-eat buffet. And they didn't just nibble on it. They eat it all the way down to bare sticks. I'd walk out into my garden in the morning and it looked like somebody took a pair of scissors to everything. I'm talking my tomatoes, my peppers, beans, cucumbers, gone overnight. And when you put all that work in and all that time in, and you have all that excitement, and you wake up to nothing but stems, well, it hit you hard. And if the deer weren't enough, the weather decided to tag team me. We had rain, like way more than usual rain. And my native soil around here, well, it's mostly clay. And clay holds water like a sponge. So even the plants that the deer did not completely destroy, well, the rain finished off. Root rot took out most of the rest of my tomatoes. And the ones that survived the deer didn't survive the soil. I'd pull up my plants and the roots were nothing but mush. No structure, no chance. And after 2 seasons of that, I honestly sat down and said, why am I even doing this to myself? I don't think people talk enough about the emotional side of gardening. You know, we show the harvest, the pretty plants, the huge tomatoes, the loads of cucumbers, you know, the wins, but not the losses. And I had losses, and big ones. So yeah, I seriously considered skipping this year and just taking a break, letting the garden rest, and more so, letting me rest. And then something happened. So one morning I actually walked out into my garden, no camera, no plan, and I just stood in the middle of the space. And even after everything went wrong, I still wanted to grow something. I still wanted that feeling of watching a seed turn into a plant, and a plant turned into food. And then it hit me. It wasn't that I didn't want to garden. I just didn't want to garden in the same way. I didn't need to quit, but I needed to adapt. All right, so I'm a problem solver by nature. So I started looking at what actually caused the problems. And the biggest one, besides the rain and the soil, was the deer. And this year, I finally said, you know what? Enough is enough. So I made a real investment. I built a 6-foot privacy fence around my entire backyard. Not a little patch. This is not a temporary fix. The whole backyard. And let me tell you, that was not cheap. And it was also not very easy. But after losing 2 seasons of gardening in a row, I knew I had to protect my space if I wanted any chance of growing food again. And honestly, it already feels so much different out here. I can actually walk outside without wondering what's going to get eaten overnight. I can actually plan a garden without planning for disaster like I've done the last 2 years. I know, some of you are going to put down in the comments, deer can jump over a 6-foot fence. Yes, I am aware that a deer can jump over the 6-foot fence, but my neighbors have a privacy fence, and the neighbors over here have a privacy fence, and the deer have never gotten into their garden. So if the deer can't see what's on the other side, most of the time they're not going to jump over that fence. Well, that's the plan anyway. But that wasn't the only problem. The other big issue was the soil. My native soil around here, like I said before, is clay. And clay holds water like a sponge. Tomatoes hate that, and peppers hate that. Most warm season crops They want drainage, not mud. So this year, I'm actually making another big change. I'm switching to my garden. About 65% of it is going to be raised beds this year. And why raised beds? It's a good thing you asked. That one decision gives me control over something that I've never had control over before, and that is the soil. I get to choose the mix, I get to choose control the drainage, and I get to build a growing environment that actually supports the plants instead of drowning them. I can do whatever I want with the soil. I can tailor the soil to that crop. And that's what my next video is actually going to be about. I'm going to walk you through why I switched to raised beds, what I'm filling them up with, and how this setup is actually going to help me avoid disasters that I've had over the last 2 years. So if you've ever struggled with clay soil or too much rain or inconsistent results, you're going to actually want to watch this video. I'm going to link it down in the description just in case you want to watch it. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with me through my ups and through my downs of the last 2 years. This season is actually going to be different. And honestly, I'm actually more excited now than I was last year. Or I've been in a whole long time here. Like and subscribe to this channel. Let me know in the comments what you've struggled with in your garden and how you actually went about fixing it. Did you do what I did and spend $5,000 on a fence? Well, share this video with other garden enthusiasts and let's keep this channel going. Like always, keep it growing.